this generation's different. They're waiting until they're later, 30. They're figuring out who they are, which is great. They're figuring out what they like and what they want, and then they're getting involved in serious, committed relationships, which I think is an ideal way of doing it. We didn't do it the ideal way. We got lucky and figured out, hey, we can deal with each other.
You're not doing very good right now.
This is more about you to me. You can deal with me.
Okay.
You can handle me.
He's going to get a talking to when we're off air.
She could have done worse.
I could have done worse.
Hello, I'm Dan.
And I'm Can.
And this is the Dan and Can podcast. Coming back at you again. Live and in person.
Okay, we're not live.
We're live here.
You're covering up your little picture. I put up our little pictures. You see them? Oh. They're just sitting back there. I'll do something else with them. But these are the pictures we painted of each other. Did we ever show them on here?
Yeah, the day after we did it. If you need to know, it'd be 2 weeks after Valentine's Day. Mm. You'll see that picture set up there that we've done for each other.
These are pictures that we painted of ourselves. Each other.
Painted of each other, yes.
This is what Dan thinks I look like. It's just so good. Where's my glasses in this? I don't know.
You didn't have glasses on that night, so you're welcome.
Because I was working. I was doing up close work.
Oh, you're doing up close magic? Is that what you're saying? Mm-hmm. All right, if you insist. So, anyways, back again. Once again. So glad to see you guys. It's first time watching. Welcome. Usually we're going a little smoother than this at the beginning, but
we're fine.
We're flowing right into it here. So last week we talked about AI and how it's taken over and how it's affecting relationships and dating and all that in the youth and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. If y'all remember from your notes. So all your notes you took last week, go ahead and refer back to them. Yeah, we expect you to take
notes. Just like in church and take notes.
We'll start.
I'd never look back at them either. I was like,
Candy, why don't you start getting the preset blanks where, you have part of it and you fill in the blank.
You put in like a word. It's like an elementary school. Yeah, right. He says the sentence and they put it up on the bulletin, or not the bulletin board, but the screen, and then you just fill in the word that's missing. So it's the only way they can keep people paying attention.
Send us an email. Candy will set up an email list.
Yeah, that's not happening. None of that's happening. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you the truth.
We need an email list for all
We don't need papers that are pointless.
Whatever. So with that in mind, I thought, it'd be fun. Let's have AI look through our YouTube, so 1.5 years of episodes, and write a quick script for the Dan and Can podcast.
Oh, this will be great.
And see how it picks up see how authentic this really is, how it'll just feel human. So,
have you read through it? Mm-hmm. So
It's pretty good. All right.
What was that sound?
I don't know.
It sounded like the dog.
It did. Something in here. She's not in here, so. All right. Are you ready to release our acting chops? Mm-hmm. It's a cold read for Candy and not for me.
Yep.
All right. Opening clip, cold open. You ever notice Christians can turn literally anything into work?
Oh, absolutely.
Fishing, ministry opportunity,
watching football, building fellowship,
going to Applebee's, pouring into relationships.
Nothing could just exist.
You couldn't even eat mozzarella sticks without somebody trying to harvest souls. Welcome back to the Dan and Can podcast, where we're trying to recover from the spiritual LinkedIn grind set.
Where every hobby didn't need to become a calling from God.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Can.
And today, we're talking about something I didn't realize until my late 40s.
That we were literally never taught how to rest.
Not actually rest.
Nope. Christian rest was just rebranding productivity.
Exactly. You weren't relaxing. You were recharging for the kingdom.
Everything had a purpose.
And if it didn't have a purpose, guilt immediately.
Immediate guilt.
You'd sit down to play a video game for 30 minutes, and suddenly your brain turned into a youth pastor.
Shouldn't you be reading your Bible right now?
Couldn't you be serving somebody?
David defeated Goliath, and you're over here playing Mario Kart.
Listen, David would have absolutely thrown shells in Mario Kart. Am I right?
Red shells specifically. I don't know what that means because I don't play Mario Kart. But apparently I think I would know that.
That would it's been a while. I think I played it a couple times, but it'd spin your...
Is it like supposed to be like the mushroom tops?
You'd be in front, or you can throw them forward or
We're
backwards.
going off script. Stick to the script.
Oh, yep. Sorry.
Okay,
Hey,
today's get to know you question.
Hit me.
What's one thing you genuinely enjoy now that younger religious you would have judged?
Oh, easy. Sitting in silence, doing absolutely nothing.
That's a good one.
Dude, younger me thought every second had to be optimized.
Same.
If I sat still too long, I thought Satan was winning somehow.
Mine is reality TV.
Oh, 100%.
Teenage me would have been like, this does not glorify God.
Meanwhile, you're now 6 episodes deep watching women throw wine at each other, and you're like, this is healing. Let's play a game. Self-care or Satan? All right, time for today's game, self-care or Satan.
We read something normal people do.
And decide whether evangelical culture treated it like healthy behavior.
Or demonic oppression.
All right, number 1, napping.
Satan.
100%.
Unless it was on a church mission trip bus.
Then it becomes recovering for Jesus. Boundaries.
Oh, Satan, absolutely.
The church heard boundaries and said, interesting. Counterpoint? Guilt.
Taking a mental health day.
Well, that depended entirely on whether your church called depression spiritual warfare.
Or a gratitude problem.
Going to therapy?
Ooh, spicy.
Half the churches were like, therapy is amazing.
And the other half were like, have you tried a Proverbs calendar? What the fuck?
All right, enough with the games. The thing that's wild to me now is realizing how much exhaustion was glorified.
Yes.
If you were tired all the time, that meant you were on fire for God.
Burnout was basically a personality trait.
And if you rested too much, people questioned your commitment.
Or your spirituality.
Meanwhile, Jesus in the Bible was constantly disappearing to go chill somewhere.
Honestly, Jesus was ghosting crowds constantly.
Modern churches would have absolutely sent him a passive-aggressive email.
Hey, Jesus, just circling back on servant team availability.
Noticed you missed 3 consecutive synagogue gatherings.
We just value consistency here.
I think one of the biggest parts of deconstruction for me wasn't theology.
Same.
It was learning that my worth isn't tied to output.
That's huge.
Like, I don't need to earn rest anymore.
You're allowed to exist as a human being and not as a productivity machine.
And honestly, that realization makes some people uncomfortable.
Because exhausted people are easier to control.
If somebody never slows down long enough to think,
They usually don't start asking questions. So if you're listening to this while feeling guilty for resting,
for unplugging,
for not constantly fixing yourself,
congratulations. You're becoming a person instead of a project.
And honestly,
the laundry can wait.
The emails can wait.
God's not going to smite you because you watch TikToks for 40 minutes and ate snacks on the couch.
Probably. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Like, subscribe, follow, share with your favorite burnt out church kid.
Former church kid. And remember,
you don't have to monetize your healing journey.
But if you do,
at least get a sponsorship out of it. So,
another brutal.
That felt just like us, right?
I'm just like, same. Yes.
Well, no, it didn't. Hit the reality TV part.
It did. I was like, man, that was true. Resting and thinking and doing nothing, like, I don't know if that's what the church would, just sitting there with doing nothing.
Idle hands or the devil's workshop.
It would have, but it's more like they just don't want you to do anything that's fun. Let's be honest. That's more the problem.
Yeah. So
that wasn't fart. That was a chair, just so everybody knows.
I start being like the guys behind Trump in the press conferences, just
there it was again. I promise.
So that was just to do a little fun there to prove, how well AI is at.
Yeah, it's great. We should just do that every week.
There's a reason why we just kind of jump into things and let her flow, because it's human.
Well, and that's our style too.
Yeah,
some people like a script, and some subjects need that. But I think for what we're doing, our goal here, it needs to be a little more off the cuff kind of.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You got to get you untangled here. So, yeah, I just thought of that this week. I should have done that last week, and had that ready just to prove it. But that's what we have multiple episodes for, so we can constantly be
updating. They're seeing us update and grow and everything on this. I mean, I'm sure we're not the same people we were 3 years ago when we started.
Well, I hope not.
I mean, there's some things that are the same, but there's a lot of things that have changed too. We've grown. You should grow, right?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
I'm glad we were prepared with the tangled
Well, I didn't realize it got this tangled.
I got it tangled.
No, I said I didn't realize it got this tangled.
Just unplug it and then take it.
I had to find out which plug it was. So see, this is what AI can't give you.
Yeah, I'm sure this is great.
Riveting information. Watching me untangle
material.
Everything here. It's all right. We need Candy to have her headphones, otherwise she won't be able to hear. And that'll be more.
What's our topic today?
Well, we're going to get into.
Are we not going to discuss what we just read here?
Well, we can.
Well, just a little bit.
Yeah.
The resting thing, because that is kind of true. You weren't allowed, but how similar
actually do that
how similar it is to hustle culture and capitalism and stuff. It's the same, or late stage capitalism at least.
It's like most everything else. The church is just mimicking the world, and
everything
Christians
had to be
vice versa.
Yeah, and everything had to be. You had to be doing something for Jesus. Your hobby has to be something for the Lord, not for your own pleasure.
Yeah.
It has to be something that honors God in some way and brings people to Jesus. And, so if you were, now like painting and stuff, it would have to be something about Christianity or Jesus and not just a painting.
If you're painting, you're talking about artistic painting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, it had to be something that expressed
something that glorifies God in some way.
The meaning would have to be spiritual.
Yeah.
And Christian spiritual, I should say.
Yeah. It would definitely have to. It couldn't be just something that like wanted to flow out of me. It would be like it has to. And it has to be something that somebody else, like a pastor, would go, yes, that glorifies God. Mm-hmm. Even though someone who made it might think it does, it's not. It doesn't unless these leaders approve. Their God, their idea of God, which is them, really. Let's be honest.
So, the secular culture and Christian culture is almost indistinguishable. A lot of times. It's tough to tell
when
them
it's
apart.
Western. I don't know about Eastern stuff, but like the late-stage capitalism and Christianity are definitely, they go together. Yeah.
Hand in hand. So, it's uncanny.
Mm-hmm.
just like you. You're canny. That's uncanny. So yeah, it's constantly, because I remember some of the things we'd hear all the time too is if church doors are open, be at church. Hustle culture, rise and grind, be up at 3 a.m.
They always want you getting up earlier, They tell you to go to bed early. They'd give that message so that you can get up really early. But if you went to bed at they want you to make sure you're staying for church. And sometimes church would stay late. Oh my God. I don't miss any of that stuff.
Especially as a parent. It was like, get up, an hour or two before your kids will wake up. So then you can get your Bible reading in. And
quiet time. You got to get that in.
Long time for you. Because that's your first fruits. That's your time tithe that you have to give every day.
Now, I will say I do like getting up before the kids. I liked that time, but all the time I wasted just reading my Bible when I could have just been doing some sort of hobby or reading a book I liked or, Instead it was, what am I going to get out of this Bible section? I'm reading Leviticus 3. Yeah. This is awful and brutal. And
So it was 24 hours in a day and you had to give a tenth of that to the Lord. So
that'd be 2 hours and 40 minutes. Is that what that would be?
2.4. So just under 2.5, just under 2.5 hours.
Like 2 hours and 25 minutes or something like that.
Just for
quiet
God.
Time?
First thing
I didn't
off
do
the
that.
top, and then your day would fall right in place.
Oh, that's why
it didn't technically, if you were going to follow that, then you'd have to wake up at midnight and give God his time from midnight until 2:30, then go back to sleep and then wake up and do your day. That'd be your first fruits. That's why everyone is failing, is because they're sleeping during the first moments of the day.
They get up and they get in the shower or they brush their teeth. None of that. You open your Bible. Could you imagine? I just fall right back to sleep.
Oh, yeah. That's how I went to bed at night.
Did you go to bed reading your Bible?
No. But that would have been very spiritual of me.
Do you remember sometimes we would even get on the edge of the bed and pray?
That'd be high
Didn't we do that sometimes?
Yeah. You're like, there's one of your suggestions. We need to pray together at night. So we'd get on the edge of bed like two toddlers.
Did we do? We didn't do that mostly, though. Mostly we just held hands and we'd be laying down.
Sometimes we did, yeah. But there's a couple times where we kneeled on the edge of the bed like toddlers, facing each other across the bed.
No, did we? Oh, God.
Then other times we'd be
So anybody who says I wasn't a true Christian, they are fucking liars.
Other times we'd be in bed and just laying there and we'd hold hands and, all right, whose turn? Because I think we rotated nights, didn't we? Who was supposed to pray?
I don't know. I thought you were supposed to do it all the time.
I think we rotated.
This is why things happened.
Maybe it was, because there was one where I remember where I was like, what the fuck am I going to pray about tonight? And then I said, I was like, because it rained. And it's like, well, it made work difficult, but thank you for the wash-in rain that came down and replenished the ground of moisture.
Why didn't you just go, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep.
Oh, you think that would have cut it with you? You'd be like, boy. I need something original.
Like, we're getting the doors.
Some Jehovah Jireh and Elul. And
you can pray in tongues, but that ain't going to cut it. You say, well, and our prayer always before we ate, I still remember it, like, Thank you, Father, for this food. Please bless it to our bodies. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Because my dad, when he would pray at dinner or whatever, we didn't sit around the table because my parents worked so much, but when he would do a prayer, it would just be so long and drawn out. So I liked the shortness of our prayer because it was pretty short and it was memorized, but
that was torturous.
Probably.
Sitting there and the food's warm, you can smell it, and then here's Dad going on his diet.
Thus saith, and my dad did talk like that. He would act like God used thus and thous. Oh,
the old English, King James English.
I'm like, does God talk like that?
You're like, my ham's cold now. I want a warm meal for a change. He's like, I'm just preparing you for married life. When you have to feed the kids and everyone else before you feed yourself, you're only eating cold food once you have children.
You didn't. I did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's preparing you for married life.
Yeah, I guess so.
And don't make it sound like it was some every night thing either, because you only had meals as a family twice a year.
I'm talking about when I had to feed the kids. That was every day.
No, but I'm talking with your dad praying.
Oh yeah, that was rare. But he did pray a lot with us. Just all of a sudden, we're gonna pray. We're gonna stand in a circle and pray. It was always, thus saith the Lord, and he'd have this rock that he'd do, and there'd be this rhythm to it.
Yeah, there's a mental health thing that associates with that, I think.
I don't know, but it was what it was.
Well, didn't you do that in hypnotherapy if you had someone that
if someone gets a psychotic rock, there's certain people you don't work with who get mental health issues.
He's in a trance state when he's praying and he starts rocking.
Yeah, he probably is. And so he doesn't know how long he's going and stuff.
But that's a psychotic break that he's at.
Oh, he might be. I don't know. We're not psychologists. We're not going to diagnose that, Dan.
I'm just saying it's something that you'd have to refer to someone else.
More if they started to have it, then I would have to get him out of it, and then they'd probably need to see a professional psychologist or something.
So, anyways, that's our AI topic for the day. So, let's get into something. It's a bit of a sensitive subject that we've been working through for 5 years now, I think, give or take.
It is?
Yes. Estranged children.
Oh God, are we going to talk about this today?
A little bit. It's something we're dealing with. We're not going to get into it in detail in our stuff. It's something we're familiar with.
Yes.
And it's, as you can tell right now by the look and expression that changed on Candy's face, a tender subject with both of us. Mm-hmm. But I want to take kind of an outside view of this. Okay. Because as a personal thing, I think when we're in it, it feels almost like we're the only ones that are dealing with it a lot of time.
There's a lot of shame.
Yeah, we've done something wrong. We're the only ones that have done this. Everyone else's kids are around them. And, we look around and we see this, but we don't know the relationship between other people and their kids and how real and authentic it is, how true it is, how much strife might be going on between them. They're just dealing with it for the time being. And
also, it almost, when you're going through it, you have to look at the relationships you do have. Like we have 4 other children that are we're very close to and we get along with. And so, but it can become consuming where you just think we've went through those stages for sure. Where you feel like
we're going to dance around our personal thing here, not really get into it a whole lot. Just know that we're dealing with it ourselves. And it's, as you can see, still very tender with us. So, we're just going to kind of go through some of this stuff and see what's out there and our reactions to it as people that are dealing with it, not necessarily our behavior in it. So let's kind of lay the groundwork of where we came from a little bit, okay? Mm-hmm. All right, you going to be all right for this?
Mm-hmm. I've done a lot of inner work, so I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, and we're not going to be, like I said, we're not going to get into a whole lot of our own personal stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
If you are not speaking with your family around the dinner table about these issues every day, it is high time to start. If you're not encouraging your children to grow up and have the courage to get married and have kids, more kids than they can afford before they think they're ready, it is high time to start. It is these choices, like deleting our dating apps and quitting birth control pills and saying I do at the altar, that ultimately trickle down into the political policies that we will see save our country.
21st.
Okay, and then that goes into the opening to Idiocracy.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
That's clever.
So it's a show in which, it's the whole video was kind of Idiocracy is actually a documentary because of what some of these people put out. And these are the ideas that these people have. Mm-hmm. That the only job for children and what you have to train your children up, and we fell into this too, and it's something we're dealing with now with our kids, is you need to, go to school, whatever, homeschool, just graduate, find a partner, get married, have kids, whether you can afford them or not.
Yeah, that was, have more kids than you can afford is what she said.
Yeah.
Now, I don't remember thinking like that. I don't remember... I don't
remember thinking like that. We lived that.
Well, we lived it, but I don't know that I wanted my kids to repeat it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was
I've never really been
our plan.
Yeah, I've never been like my kids could. I don't know that I necessarily wanted my kids to do. I've always wanted them to wait to get married because I feel like we got married so young. I didn't want them to have too many children because I knew it's expensive, and it also. It is you put your life on hold when they're younger. You just kind of do. So unless they wanted to, right? Mm-hmm. I do remember thinking that that's what you do. You grow up, you get married, you have children.
Yeah. That's
like,
what you were trained in.
That's what you're supposed to do.
And I was trained in that too. I had that put in me. Not probably as strict as you did, but I had that put into me.
Yeah. And that is part of, it's not just Christianity. It is the society around us all together, says that's where your value is. And then anybody who either can't have children, doesn't want to have children. And I think I got introduced to people, when I was, as we were, even before deconstruction started officially, where I could recognize something's big is changing. I was around people, that didn't have children or didn't want children, or, and I was like, I was okay with it. I didn't feel judgy of them. And I would say, like, I don't know if you kind of said something, this is something we're dealing with our children. Like, we don't expect this of our children at all anymore. No. Like, they know this.
Yeah. And
this isn't what led to our estrangement either.
No.
It's not this.
Yeah. But
we did raise them in.
This was just kind of a video of the type of mindset we came from.
Yes. Yeah.
And that.
Would have been taught. If this would have been said in the churches we were in, it would have been applauded.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't know that I wouldn't have applauded. I don't know that I would have listened closely enough. I do remember when we had one child and I thought about going to school for hair.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was praying about it and I decided we needed to stop birth control and just see what God did.
And then we got you pregnant.
And then we got pregnant and then we lost that baby.
And then he couldn't do hair school.
Yeah, like that, which is good because I don't think it would have been a thing for me. But I really was doing what I probably wanted to do. I probably didn't really, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I wanted to go, maybe I didn't. But it's just, I remember doing that, like birth control. I remember this back and forth in my head, like, is birth control bad? Is it good? And I remember, is it neutral? And at that moment, I thought it was, a negative thing, like you're stopping God. And then later, I had the thought, like, if God's all powerful, he can work right through birth. I mean, my mom was on the pill when she got pregnant with me. So
that explains a lot of your relationship with your parents.
Okay, wow. All right, so that's interesting. So yeah, that sounds ridiculous what she's saying to my ears now. It probably wouldn't have 25 years ago.
No, it would have been received.
Yeah.
But anyway, we talked about this, so we won't get into it a whole lot last week with our kids when we were dealing with the whole technology and all that. This generation's different. They're waiting until they're later, 30. They're figuring out who they are, which is great. They're figuring out what they like and what they want, and then they're getting involved in serious, committed relationships, which I think is an ideal way of doing it. We didn't do it the ideal way. We got lucky and figured out, hey, we can deal with each other.
You're not doing very good right now.
This is more about you to me. You can deal with me.
Okay.
You can handle me.
He's going to get a talking to when we're off air.
She could have done worse.
I could have done worse?
Yeah.
Wow, you're like...
That didn't come out right. Okay, so we're going to move on.
You need to stop talking.
But yeah, so our kids... different thing, and that was an adjustment for us to accept because we're in this weird Gen Xers, I think, are in a weird dilemma here because we have all the old mindset and we see the new mindset that's developing, and half of us are still following the old mindset and half of us are accepting the new mindset. So then when we look out amongst our peers, it's, well, their kids are getting married at 20. So what's wrong with our kids? And then we have to work through it and be like, no, this is the change that needs to happen. This is the change that
we're trusting our kids to figure out life themselves. We're not gonna control it. They get to figure out how they're gonna do it, how they're gonna play the game for themselves.
Yeah.
And there isn't a set rule that you have to do this and you have, my only concern would be like sometimes if you're not doing something out of fear that you would like to do it, but you're not, then I would say like, hey, work through that. But that's all on them. They've got to figure that out. They're on their own journey. And I do like that we don't say, hey, you need to go and this is what you have to do because this is what everybody does. Yeah. But you also see a lot of people that are miserable. Yeah. And they followed the plan and they are not happy and they're in relationships where they're breaking hearts and they're hurting people because they're not faithful or whatever. And it's just like, we don't need more of that. So,
no. So let's do one. I think if I remember right, this one might irritates you a little more too. I mean, you can look at this guy and tell he's
I was like, is it going to be that guy?
Yeah,
all right.
He's going to irritate you.
Why is it troubling that kids are disowning their parents?
Because the fifth commandment requires us to honor our father and mother. But this is something that you're seeing in a generation that is increasingly arrogant, that has lost the ability to stretch for one another or suffer for one another or forgive one another. We've reached a point where this is actually a troubling trend. Like Cornell did a study where they found.
Okay, let's get into that first part there. So, and as we go through this, we're going to see that there's this trend.
There is a trend with estrangement. It is something that I've even wondered if it's something to do with around 9/11 because it's our child that we have this issue with was born shortly after 9/11. The next year, year, and
was conceived
got
soon
pregnant.
after.
Yeah, because we had
the miscarriage the
day before. Yeah. So, I've wondered about that. I wondered if there's something to that. And who knows? I don't know if anybody's done any research on it or if they will. But the interesting thing that he said was that there is some I am not going to say he's totally wrong with some things. There is a sense of they struggle to forgive. There's a very self-righteous. At least that appears that way sometimes. Yeah. Now, sometimes there is violence. There has been abuse. That's different. That's something you got to get out of that situation. I get that.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes it's happening and that's not it. It's just there's no one person, one side of the estrangement is willing to work on themselves and look inward, and the other side is struggling to do that. They just want to blame, right? And I think some of that comes with time and maturity where you start to look at that. That's part of that. I do think that things need to be talked through, and forgiveness does not mean forget. The forgiveness is so that you're not harboring it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that there's a whole conversation about that. What I don't like that he did right there was the scripture verse attaching it, honor your father and mother. Yeah. What does that fucking mean? Does that mean you have to agree? If your parents, there's things that I did wrong. There are things that that I am sorry for, and they needed to be called out. You know what I'm saying? And so you're never allowed to do that.
You were told to honor your father when you were married to me for a few years.
And that meant, and in his head, what he meant by that is obey what I say. And I don't agree with what you're saying. I'm not... Yeah. That's not happening here, but that's what he was trying to.
You sold me off to this guy.
I gotta obey my husband now, not you.
And my husband's a clown that I can manipulate and do whatever I want with. So
that's not true. So, anyways,
but that whole scripture out there. But
that's just a manipulation tactic.
He's kind of painting that side of the argument in a negative light, saying that, they don't forgive. They don't forgive. They don't have room, or basically saying they don't have room or empathy for anyone else.
That's the thing. And he's saying that, and he is kind of painting the picture. That's a good point. He's painting it as though, let's say it's a parent-child like us. He's painting it as though the child is the one that's wrong. Yeah. It is what he's saying, because he said, honor your father and mother. And here's the thing, the parent has to look at themselves. There's definitely a reason that's happening. There's a reason, whether you intended what you did or maybe you thought you were just a great parent. I struggled to think I was a great parent all the time. I kept thinking I wasn't, because I was trying to follow the Christian rules, and it was going against who I was, but I didn't understand that. I just thought I kept failing because I wasn't really perfect at it. Yeah. And so I think the parents sometimes struggle to acknowledge that they need to change, that they're in the wrong sometimes, so it does go both ways. I don't think estrangement is a solution. I think it can be a temporary situation that you need to have. Yes.
It's a boundary set right now. Yes.
And I think that's fair. That's fair
for both parties to
breathe for a minute and think and reflect on themselves
and work on themselves.
Yes, and then you test it and you say, "Have the person changed?"
Mature and come back in a civil way.
We don't just mean It's not just the children that need to mature. Yeah. I had to mature. I had to I was not emotionally regulated. I would cry so easily. I had to learn how to regulate my emotions. I had to learn how to actually love myself. I didn't love myself. I didn't like myself. So that was definitely coming out in my words to my children, or in my energy to my children. Yeah. So I think, I don't know.
Okay. So let's get back into this fine gentleman's study that he's going to quote.
Yeah, who is this guy? Is he
I have no idea.
27% of American adults are now estranged from one of their family members. There was a study done by YouGov where they found 1 in 6 adults has divorced their parents or walked away from that, has no relationship with parents. They can't see grandkids, those kinds of things. And mostly for reasons of personality conflict or different
opinions. Okay, so I think one thing take from there, it's a big thing right now. 25% is a large number in that demographic to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So there's a lot of that going on. And we'll get into this more, but I think a lot of it, especially from our perspective of church, is how these kids were taught and brought up and not seeing that performed by the church or their parents or something like that. Just seeing the parents follow the rules and what Dobson and people like that were saying to do, which isn't very Christ-like, but was told to us and to believe in as is, this is Christ-like behavior to do, causing these issues.
Well, yeah, I don't know what he's going to say here coming up, but what he did do was, first of all, I'm just kind of seeing that first comment. I don't see all of it, but it's registering something for me that you can honor your mother and father by pulling away because the relationship is being ripped to pieces, right?
Sometimes that's the best way to save a relationship is to
and sometimes like separate. Do I think an estrangement should be like, hey, this is permanent forever and I will never talk to you again? No, I don't think that's healthy. I think you can revisit and you can see, you could wait even years in between and then say, hey, let's see if there's been some growth and can we get along? Can we talk about what happened? Can we, I think that would be healthy. If you've both grown and changed, right? But it is significant. It's a huge amount of people. So we're not alone.
No.
Sometimes go on.
So, and the other thing he's saying here is that his reasoning for it, and I think it's false.
Oh yeah, he's not looking at like, hey, were the parents taught to do something in there? It's just these kids are bad and they're messed up.
They have a difference of opinion.
I don't know what he's going to blame it on.
Or a different idea or mindset or belief set. So that's why this is happening.
Yeah.
This guy
not taking responsibility.
This guy might have estranged kids from him and he's never going to get them back. If he keeps this mindset.
If he keeps that mindset.
Because it's not because they had a different opinion to you and they're just rebellion to your truth that you're holding on to. There's something else happening here.
You need to evaluate your belief systems. Now, what are you pushing? What's going on?
Being said, they might have a different perspective of the same things that happened. Where there's this one incident that happened and they may believe it happened this way and these things happened, and the other person might believe that these things happened. It's like eyewitness testimony. You're never going to get the same testimony just because of the simple fact that no people see the same thing the same way. There's going to be two different viewpoints.
Well, and I think true healing would be you understand that you have different perspectives. And as long as it's not like you're trying to dehumanize the other person. Because I don't know, like, I think estrangement could be in the situation of like a child that's come out. That's probably happening quite a bit.
That's probably a good
child
chunk of
comes out and then you're like, nope, my God says I can't have any interaction with you. And therefore you're out, you're shunned. I'm not going to budge on my belief systems whatsoever. So you hold the beliefs over the love of the child, which is.
Or they put you into a conversion therapy program or something like that.
And so in that case, the child would have to walk away and, because otherwise it's just going to, it's going to ruin them.
Yeah. End up horrible. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to our favorite guest.
Opinions on politics or values and things like that. And that is grievous. Like, the family is so foundational to human civilization and personal human happiness that when you become so rigid that you can't bend or flex or forgive or find any leniency towards.
Stop. okay, I don't know about this guy personally, but in the Christian church, they're the ones that don't bend or flex or, you know what I'm saying? They're like, just like the example I just gave with LGBTQ child, it's like, no, I cannot have you have to change if you're going to be in my house. Or if a child comes out as like, I don't believe in your God at all, like, no, you have to, or you cannot be part of this family. So because it's on that side, that's almost like karma coming back, you know, that rigidness. And then the child's like, okay, then I'm not going to bend, you know, and I'm going to walk away. I mean, that's, to me, what he was describing there, you know, and obviously I am running this through the filter of our own experience. And I know that I have bent and changed and learned and grown. And I do give credit to that child for pushing that to happen for me, right? I had to, because it was so devastating, so heartbreaking. But to see a parent then go, you know, you won't talk to me, instead of going like, what am I doing? No self-reflection. That's like zero growth. And maybe the child has zero growth too. And then in that situation, they will just go to their deathbeds.
Yeah, what you're saying is true. It has to be a two-way highway where both people are willing. Forgiveness, you know, you have to be willing to bend and flex and all that, but so does the other party. They just can't take. And you have to find compromise. It's not agreeing to what you want, because that's going to make the person that's being agreeable just miserable.
Well, and it's going to make it a phony relationship if they're just like, he's basically saying like, well, he's talking about all the perspectives and the difference, and you can disagree on things. There's things you and I don't see eye to eye on, but it's just like, that's not gonna. It doesn't break our relationship. You're not.
It's because I'm 6 inches taller than you.
Okay, that's not it. But it's like, it's, you know, it's.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm losing my words.
Just losing her words here.
Just falling out.
No, you have to have flexibility, and you have to be able to, if you want to be in any productive relationship, you have to be flexible and willing to compromise and give. And as
understand
much as
there's different perspectives. And be okay with them having a different perspective. And also, I think the problem that I had when our child told us certain perspectives that they had, I didn't have that perspective. And what was happening is then I was saying, well, their perspective is correct and mine is absolutely all wrong. And I had to catch that and go, no, we just have two different perspectives here. And I need to respect theirs and also respect my own, and just understand they are different. And that is that child's reality. And I need to meet that child where that child's at. And so I haven't had a chance to have the conversation, but that is what I've learned from it. Whereas it doesn't sound like what he is. I don't know what he's going to say here, but I can see that the name of the show is the Bible Show Podcast. So I can pretty much predict that he's not going to say that.
But I think in our life, we can speak to it that we've had so many different interactions where it would have been, we have to give everything and bend our will to everything to fit someone else that was
if we want a relationship with them, then we have to agree that they're right.
Anyone that's gone through deconstruction can assimilate with that. And you can probably think of other instances in your life where it was like, I have to completely give over to their will in this if I want to get along with them. And that's not how you should live your life, because it's going to make you miserable.
And you shouldn't be the type of person that acts like that toward others.
No.
But that takes a lot of self-awareness and then introspection.
Yep. All right. Let's see where we're going with this guy.
Family, that you would rather break the covenant of family. That has devastating impacts, not just for the parents, but the kids, the grandkids. It has implications across the board, and it's devastating. Why is it troubling?
Okay. So I think what I would say to this is, first of all, obviously it's devastating.
Yeah.
In our case, this child is not talking to other siblings or anybody. Like there's other issues going on. This isn't just they hate us or something. Yeah. But it's obviously devastating. And I think that the parents, as the older ones, right, as the ones that have been here longer, have the responsibility of just doing the inner work. You cannot guarantee, like we can't comfort ourselves with thoughts that this is going to get resolved. We don't know that it will get resolved. This could be a forever lifetime thing. I hope not, but it could be.
Yeah.
And in order to move on in life, you have to heal, and you can't it would be interesting to say like what he later is teaching, like how does he teach parents? Because it sounds like he's talking to parents.
We'll get into, not this guy specifically, but other stuff.
What Christians are saying about this, because I guess it's such a epidemic that Christians are having to deal with it, right? Because some of these kids are leaving because their parents were too harsh, and that's not always the case.
It's interesting you bring that up.
It does happen.
Okay, you know D.L. Mayfield, right?
No,
I think you do.
Maybe. Is that next one?
Yeah.
No, I don't know that person.
Hey, everyone. So my husband, that's Crispin, subscribes to emails from Focus on the Family so that you don't have to. But if you have parents that were really into this philosophy when they were raising you, maybe are still into it, I just thought you might want to know the kind of emails they might be reading. And guess what? They've been sending out emails for a while now about this growing trend of estrangement that's happening with the people that subscribe to Focus on the Family. So specifically estrangement from adult children. And guess what? We'll get to this at the end, but they have a course that you can take and books you can buy and money you can give them to help you fix the problem that they actually created. But let's get into this email, okay? Maybe your parents are reading this, but here we go. It says, hey, they won't return your calls. They ignore your texts and emails. Either you have little to no idea of what they're actually doing, or their only communication is to rub in your faith, get it, the sinful lifestyle they've embraced. It wasn't supposed to turn out this way.
Can you pause it before she goes on? This is just so typical of the type of Christianity we were in. It's like, if you live authentically and it clashes with, you're rubbing it in their face or their faith.
In their faith.
Yeah. And it's just like, they're just being themselves and you're taking it personally as though it's an affront to you when it's just like, this is how I live now, and take it or leave it. So funny. Like, whatever. It's just very typical of Christians.
It turns into like second person, which I think is really interesting. Okay. You poured yourself out to help them grow from an innocent, precious child. So full of potential. Actually, I thought we were like born with a sin nature that needed to be crushed out of us, but whatever. Into what you hoped would be a responsible, virtuous, capable adult. You envisioned moving from caretaking parent into trusted friend and confidant. Which is weird because, again, these are the parents that crushed out of us anything that resisted their beliefs, but, whatever. You dreamed of a future where you, beaming with pride, would send your son or daughter out into the world. There, fortified by a deep personal faith in Christ, they would accomplish amazing things and would reach out often with updates and with sincere gratitude for all that you sacrifice to help them succeed.
I never really had that thought, but that's weird.
You got something you want to say here?
Huh?
Got something you want to say?
No, I do know moms that were like that. Like, I'm sacrificing all this and you better, it better come back. I don't remember thinking that way because I was so like feeling like I wasn't doing it right all the time. But I could see a lot of moms being like that. Like, you owe me, basically, Yeah.
I gave up my body for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Your child has grown into an adult who rejects you and everything you believe in. Okay, and the Focus is like, okay, take our course, pay us some money, and we'll help you fix this, which they don't. They just encourage parents to like stick fast, keep telling the adult child while they're wrong and praying that they'll come back to the fold. So anyways, maybe your parents read these emails. Maybe you're confused why they never respect your boundaries and you have such a fraught relationship with emotionally immature parents. And I'm going to say, Focus on the Family created this problem, and now they're capitalizing on this problem.
Yeah.
And just thought y'all
making money off both ends. Create it, fix it. Actually, not even fixing it. They're just preying on the parents who do love their children. I don't doubt that parents that are, obviously we have an estranged child. I love that child too. It's like,
let's get into that a little bit. So we were told when we were in the faith, here's what you do.
Train them when they're young and they will not depart from it. Yep.
And this is the way it's going to be. You do this by the book, and everything's you're going to have them coming back and with gratitude and praise, and they're going to be your trusted. You're going to be their trusted confidant,
just like in the movies and everything. Yeah,
everything's going to be
perfect.
just wonderful and happy and perfect. But it doesn't work that way.
I mean, I will say we kind of have that now with most of our children.
Yeah.
But deconstruction is what led to that. Yeah. If we would have stayed entrenched, and this is our second child, so ours is I feel like in another way we're kind of oddballs because our situation is different, right? Yeah. It's not what she's talking about, but there's some of that at play because we did raise the children. This child got up to like 9 before we started to deconstruct, but she does understand, like she was glad we deconstructed. She's even said that, and all that, but I don't know where I was going with that. My thoughts just I'm tired, so my thoughts keep dropping. Perimenopause, I'll blame it on that. Well, say it again. Sure. What were we talking about? We have to have a light moment
here. Let's start over from the beginning.
Let's start over.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because we were told that this was the formula to follow.
Yeah, exactly.
And we tried to follow it diligently, and it didn't feel comfortable a lot of the times.
No, it didn't.
Because we had a little wooden board that we used to swat the kids with the scripture verse on it. And I remember doing it just like Dobson taught.
We were using it to ABUSE the kids because that's really what it is now, looking back.
It was, okay.
You could do 3 swats legally. That's our remember.
We were told that.
So we were like, stay at 3 or under.
So we give the swats. And then it was, okay, then you have to explain why, pray, and then try to come together in some loving embrace.
They have to hug you.
Yeah.
When I remember that with my dad.
Yeah, just basically for the kid to be grateful for the abuse to be performed upon them.
Yeah, thank you for abusing me.
I'm surprised there's not more kids in S&M.
God. Dan.
From this behavior. Father, daddy.
Oh, God, Dan, stop. Okay, moving on.
The leather daddy.
Dan, God. Stop.
Sorry, Brad Klossman's coming back. But, yeah, we were on this program, and it was supposed to work. But it doesn't work because people aren't formulaic.
Well, you wouldn't be having this issue.
Yeah.
This issue wouldn't be 25% or whatever the number was. It wouldn't be that high if that's how it worked. If you because we were homeschooling, we were, and some people, Christians might say we're having the problem that we're having because we deconstructed. So that's our punishment, right?
Yeah.
And some people think it's just because of Christians, of Christianity. I think it was more in the culture than we realize. I think it was just an overall. Granted, what's his face? James Dobson and a lot of Focus on the Family, those people perpetuated abuse. They perpetuated like not getting to know your child, not nurturing your child in a way that would help their natural and who they naturally are to come to the service. Instead, it was like conform, like the strong-willed child. It was basically get that out of them. You don't want a strong-willed child.
Yeah, force them.
And this child actually that is estranged was more strong-willed when she was younger. It was she just had her own likes and dislikes. She was very opinionated about it. And going back, I would have been more embracing of that. I don't remember exactly how I dealt with it. There was some things I just let. I was just like, that's part of how she is and who she is. And then there was some things I could have done better. Absolutely, I could have done better.
Both of us could have.
But that played into it, but the culture at large, I think outside of, a lot of us are Christians we're Christians, right, in America. I don't know if estrangement's worldwide or if it's just America. That would be kind of interesting.
I couldn't tell you offhand.
But it's, I'm starting to lose that thought again. That is so weird that I'm having that again. I'm tired. I've made a lot of decisions today and done a lot of business stuff. So my brain is dropping.
Well, I think some of the issue is that, and I think Dobson's even talked about this or referenced it in his books, that he was raising and teaching to raise kids like the old school world of way of raising a dog. If your dog pooped in the house, I remember, my dad would tell me, you rub their nose in it, you throw them outside.
I remember my dad doing that, yeah.
And you swat them on the ass.
Or on the nose, which is actually so sensitive to a dog, yeah.
And you send them outside. And that's how he wanted to raise kids. You step out and you think of the things of obey on the first command, do this right away.
And we did do that for a little while. We did do that. I don't know how long we did it, but we did do. They were expected to obey on the first.
Yeah, he referred to, and you look at it, it would be no different than a 1950s or 60s dog training guide. Mm-hmm. Just constant physical abuse to reconcile them. So what you're going to do then is you're either going to break the child completely.
That's what he wanted. Even
though he said, no, that's not what you want to do.
But that is really what he was breaking their will.
In the strong-willed child, it wasn't, because he always was like, that strong will is going to be beneficial to him later in life, because they'll be the ones that
did say that, like,
stand up to challenges of drugs or sex or anything like that.
Or an atheist who
you just want to
brought some doubts.
Bend it a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's not what he was doing. It was breaking the kid's will. So if you broke it, then you have a broken human being that's just going to submit and conform just to keep the peace. And you think about kids that come from abuse.
You create fawning is what you do. The nervous system
they just learn how to live in a toxic, dangerous environment.
I mean, that's exactly how I learned to relate to my dad.
Yeah.
I was afraid of him.
Yeah.
So it was just like I would give him whatever he wanted. What do you want me to talk about? What do you want me to say? I know the words. I'll say them. And so he got the superficial relationship, and which wasn't what I wanted, but apparently it was what he wanted. It pleased him, and so he got that. And then I do talk to my dad. There's not an estrangement on my end, but I'm not super close with my parents. I don't, and that's partly because as they grow and change, if they do, my mom a little bit, I will interact more, right? Yeah. I do check in periodic. There probably was a time I didn't talk to him for a few months at least, just so I could get some space to kind of like work through and heal.
Yeah.
But I think the culture at large wasn't really about nurturing who they are and actually allowing them. It was, you're supposed to fit this norm, like be normal. Like, I mean, even the fact that normal was used, you'd have a gay kid. No, nobody wanted a gay kid coming out, like, no, you're going to stand out and you're going to be like ridiculed. And so, they would panic. And that wasn't just to Christianity. So that was all over the place. And that will lead to estrangement, I'm sure, if you had to fit the mold.
And this was the mold that the Christian kid had to fit into so they could be the proper Christian adult, so then they could be plugged into a church and support the church. Mm-hmm. This was all a system to, and this is what, go back to the first video of have as many kids as you possibly can, even the ones you can't afford. Why? Because we have to keep propagating the church. The church needs to keep getting more money coming in, tying back to a couple of weeks ago with tithe. It needs to have more support in here. It needs to have more voters in it so we can control everything going on in this country.
Just to back up that conservative party.
This is the mold we have to fit into. Yep. And these are the programs, and we're going to beat you into that.
And even now, like they're monetizing off of now the parents who love their children, these parents love their children. I have no doubt. They just don't know how to do it. Okay. They don't know how to love them unconditionally because their God doesn't love them unconditionally.
Because they're told that you can't. If the kid steps out of this.
Because also their God doesn't love unconditionally. Even though they say that, he doesn't. He's like, you got to obey all the things. You got to believe this and do this. And if you don't do these things, I'm going to burn you forever. And you know what? Your kid doesn't, so you're going to be burnt. So these parents who believe that with all their heart are desperate for their child not to go to hell. They genuinely believe in hell. And I know that's hard for some people to understand if you weren't raised in it or you weren't in Christianity like we were. Like, I believed I was 100% certain that hell was real, that my children would go there if they didn't believe. 100% certain. So if my perspective was that was true, because I'd been brainwashed into it. Absolutely, if that was true, you would do anything you could to stop your child from going there, even if you had to be estranged from them for a while, because you might get tangled up and go too. You see what I'm saying? If you love them unconditionally. But it's the brainwashing and it causes a doubling down on the faith. The system of the religion is the problem. It's what's causing a lot of this estrangement, a lot of the problems. It is the source of a lot of this stuff.
So let's finish up here, and we're going to do a little fun exercise. Because focus on the family. When we were in the church, it was told, this is what the answer is. You do this, and your kids are going to fall in, and life is going to be easier for you. It's going to be, they're going to follow in line.
Beautiful.
Follow these patterns, follow these things. So the generation, our generation that we're being led by this, should have everything coming out. So all the material now should be still focused on that. Keep building on what we're doing because it's successful. Mm-hmm. All right, let's look and see how successful this is. Try to get this in here in a better frame. This is editing on the fly. We'll shrink us down because you don't want to see us too much. All right. And we'll get the red lines off. So let's go into parenting and see.
We should probably look in these a little bit more often just to see what people are saying, what Christians are saying, you know?
Yeah. Let's shrink this down so we can.
Instead of watching it in little snippets. What are we doing here, Dan?
I'm trying to. Oh, I'm in the wrong. This is confusing to me.
Yeah, you're confusing all of us.
Trying to shrink this down a little more so we can read it. Or not.
Or
it's not working. Anyways. All right, we'll keep going.
Pull the corners instead of dragging. No, the red corners. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. You got 2 of them up or something. That one shows all your tabs.
Let's see this is. Why am I in all these things? Ugh.
I don't know, but you can just pull that one up. It's just bring that one in the corner up. You can X out of that one.
Oh no, it's not letting me control. There we go. All right. Let's see. Oh.
Funny. Parenting adult children when they walk away from God. Is that what you're looking for?
I want to get into the parent. Okay, so these are articles that they've written here recently. Why did my dad leave me? Why are you constant? I think Dobson's on to us.
No, it's thinking. Dobson's dead.
Articles.
Is he affecting us from the grave?
Let's go into articles.
Okay, don't click too fast. Just wait.
So these are what they're telling us to do now. Okay, and see how many of these are. Why do parents need? Okay, blah, blah, blah. So you're dealing with helicopter parenting, which is basically what we were being taught to do. Be involved in everything, know exactly everything that's going on. They're selling programs on. Here, they actually give movie reviews and say, this movie you should watch. We rate it this much or add to this because of the inappropriate behavior in there. There was a cigarette in this scene. Don't watch this movie.
There's a cigarette butt on the ground. Don't watch it. It's terrible. It'll make you want to smoke.
So let's see here.
Notice how they make everything look so wholesome.
Yeah. Wholesome
Marketing,
as being an authoritative parent. Let's try. Which one should we go to?
Adult children when they walk away from God, maybe. That's what I was noticing before.
Let's see what this is.
Don't let your expectations push away your adult children.
Okay. So we're dealing with some potential estrangement there. Mm-hmm. Parent adult children. Teach your parents living with young adult children how to trust God with your adult children. So yeah, these are reactionary videos or articles about. Well, my kids
apparently it's a problem happening, right? Because there are a lot of like adult children leaving God, adult children, you're trusting God with your adult children because you're also scared they're going to make bad decisions or they're not making decisions you think are right. Questioning God.
Yeah.
When to see a professional counselor instead of talking to friends. Professional counselor, huh? Like
and I had it set up earlier where I could get through some of this stuff and Now I think they're on to me.
No,
So-
they're not. You just don't remember where you were. Okay.
I don't know how to navigate this very well. But yeah, there's a lot of articles in here, especially when it's dealing with older children, because the younger children is still the same stuff. There's some adjustments that they're making from looking through it here in the last couple of days of, well, maybe not do this. Don't be so authoritative. Or why aren't you?
What are you
Keyboard.
trying to do?
It's the Bluetooth keyboard. It doesn't, if I'm not close enough to the technology's kicking my ass. But yeah, it's, the younger ones is telling you it's staying on the same course with minor adjustments.
Like keeping it very similar. So
Yeah.
they still promote spanking and stuff?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they don't call it they call it
Corporate
corporal.
punishment?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So these are all basically the same. Parenting young adults with grace and forgiveness because they're so awful. Boundaries and limits. But when you look into the adult stuff, it's dealing with what's happened because of the kids that have set boundaries and done all this stuff. And it's a lot of things of, okay, how do you deal with someone that doesn't want to talk to you anymore or do this? And it's like, we're not going to reflect on ourselves and look at it. No, you stay strong in the faith and you stay strong with.
Yeah. Distract yourself with
Yeah.
church stuff, instead of
Yeah.
look inward. Is there some healing that can happen
When
and some
adult
work
children
that can
don't share your
happen within
values.
you?
Responding in love to an adult gay child.
Responding in love.
How to trust God with your
What's-
adult children. So, and some of them I saw were in here were just how to pray through this in, time. So it's always this constant, like we always told, just pray about it and give it over to God and let him deal with it type stuff. And it was uncanny kind of going through that. And I'm sorry I couldn't bring a lot of it up, but of how much of it was this response to it. So they created a problem. They realized, oh shit, this failed miserably because there's a lot of these kids, 25% are doing this now and stepping away from there. So that's an issue. We can't have a quarter of these people going out because that could spread. That could be infectious to everyone else. Mm-hmm. So we got to address it. So then it's now coaching the parents again. So here, buy these articles, buy these resources like D.L. Mayfield was saying. Buy all this stuff to help you get through it. And it's not going to help you through it. It's going to be the same bullshit that Christianity always peddles. Pray about it. Stay strong and fast in your beliefs. Don't waver because you have the truth. Don't, look at your, basically.
Because to be honest, there's probably parents coming to them, especially mother. I think talking as a mother, like we have a very tender spot for our children.
Yeah.
And I can see mothers coming to the pastor and being like, I want to just love this child unconditionally. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how to deal with this. I don't want them to, walk away. Like maybe a child has told them they don't believe anymore. And that can lead to estrangement, if the parent will not accept and just keeps bringing it up and doesn't let them live their lifestyle in front of them. You don't rub it in my face, but it's like they go to the pastor and the pastor just is like saying what you said, double down on your faith, trust God, just, because, and so the woman having no other place to turn.
Contagious because if that kid is able to break free and show success and show that what's being taught isn't true, that is a stronger message to that mother, to that father, because they have a relation with that child. They're like, wait a minute. This isn't supposed to happen. They're supposed to be in despair. Satan's supposed to have their way with them right now and be doing.
Let Satan, turn them over to Satan is the message they give.
Yeah.
Let Satan do the work and not thinking that you play a role as a parent in it all.
Maybe they think like they're having success, but it's by nefarious means or whatever. They're not doing it right. And it's going to come back and catch up with them later. And we can see that clearly where it's like, well, no, maybe they're actually being loving and caring and concerned and everything we taught about them. But they just don't believe what we do. They went through it a different way. They went through it in a humanist way.
Or they may even say to the parent, like, they might tell the parent, well, what'd you do? You might have done something that pushed the child away, right? But they don't blame the system. They don't, because a lot of times the parents were trying to follow the system to a T. They're trying to do what all the books and what all the preachers are saying, and they won't blame the system. They will just say, you did something wrong, or your child did something wrong, but wasn't us. Like, stick to the message. If you would have done the message right, it would have been fine.
It's the old Benny Hinn, Kenny Copeland. Hey, I can't help the fact that you didn't get healed from your cancer or whatever. Your faith wasn't strong enough. That's on you. It's not on the message. It's not on God.
It's not on God.
It's on you.
They don't want them questioning God, because then that tumbles that whole thing, you know.
So I think it's interesting that they see this happening. The Christian faith sees it, because I've seen a lot of, especially when I started getting into this algorithm, a lot of videos of, no. It's not about the message. It's not about the church. It's not about, what's going on here. It's about, and just start naming off other
kids.
things.
It's their kids. Problem. Yeah. They're rebellious. They're bad. The devil's getting out of control. Or maybe you didn't really follow it like you think you did. Yeah. Maybe you were slacking. Maybe you watched a little too much reality TV.
Reality TV.
Throwback. Or you watched too much sports, or your husband wasn't involved. He wasn't a spiritual leader. She wasn't submissive enough. They'll blame everybody but themselves, but the system.
And pay us, and we'll tell you how to fix it.
Yeah.
Here's a system to fix it, pay us, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
So they keep getting better off it.
And people are falling for it because they're desperate. They're desperate to survive this. And I think one of the biggest things we could say to walk through this, because we are still walking through it, is very painful. It's been the most heartbreaking thing I think we could have imagined happening.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of ways, it sometimes feels like a death, even though it's not as final as that, but it'll break your heart. But there is still life
and
after hope. And in it. And there is hope. There is hope. But I think the biggest thing is working on yourself, looking at yourself, asking yourself, not what you did wrong. It's not like a judgment thing. It's, why did I do what I did?
Yeah.
Why did I talk the way I talked? Why did I act the way I acted? What was the driving force behind it? And do I even believe that anymore? Yeah. And I think we were already on that road, before we had our situation that we are in right now. But I think continuing on that, and we became much more self-aware because of it. Mm-hmm. So as painful as it is, we have done so much work, and we are different people. And when she is ready and has done the work, like, there will be healing there. But, and it takes both sides doing the healing of themselves. Both sides have to do the work. It is not, the blame does not, I know it falls on the parent because the parent was the parent. But if there's to be a relationship, that responsibility falls on both sides.
Yeah. Yep, to do the work that needs to be done. So, anyways, all right. See, I told you we weren't going to get too personal on it.
You kept it all right.
And kind of addressing this, because I think it is a big issue today with what's going on. And I think one of the biggest perpetrators has been the church and how they brought
if not
everything.
The biggest.
Yeah, and how they were training people to raise up.
Mm-hmm.
And then dealing with the kids fighting against it
mm-hmm.
and saying it's not true. And I think you're seeing more of that come out now, where it's not adding up to them. They see a message in church and Sunday school of this is what Jesus is. Then they grow up and they're like, this isn't what I was told when I was 4 and 5. This is something completely different.
Uh-huh.
And I believe what was here beforehand, I'm going to live in them principles. And now the church is like, well, no, hold on. Here's how we fix it. Just give me $20 and I'll tell you how to fix it.
Yeah.
And here's a new thing for it. So,
I mean, I think if there's any estrangement on our end with my parents, which there's not really, we don't talk that much, but I'm the one that reaches out and go to see them. They don't really reach out to us. But I think it is because the beliefs changed.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I'm following who I see Jesus as. What I see Jesus is doing is pushing back against the system. He didn't talk about worshiping him.
Yeah.
He was just, love one another, forgive, grace, that kind of stuff. And we lived it, and they were like, no, because they're stuck in the system.
Yeah. So.
All
right. Well, if you're watching on YouTube, Give us a like, follow, and subscribe. We'd appreciate that greatly and fantastically. If you're watching on a streamer, audio streamer, Spotify, Apple, go up and give us 5 stars. We'd appreciate that also. Leave us comments on either one. We love seeing comments and responding to them at all times. And then if you want to reach out and get a hold of us and find different things we're doing, go down to the description, dannycan.com, click on that. Candy's checked out already. She's scrolling, trying to catch up on Love is Blind or something here. I don't know what's going on. But go down to dannycan.com and you can reach out to us or see what's going on with us, everything there. So other than that, thanks for listening, checking in with us, and dealing with another topic and how we've moved through that in our own personal lives a little bit. So we'll see you guys next week and next time. Bye.
Bye.